In this video, I will take you through how you can file your 1099-S forms using InfoTrack with Easysoft. To begin with, I'm going to go ahead and open up one of my files within Easysoft. At this stage, I have entered in all the information into the CD and I'm ready to go ahead and submit my 1099-S. I'm going to go up to the 1099-S option and click on that to open up InfoTrack. On the InfoTrack page, you'll see that much of the information has pre-populated for you based on the information that's been entered into the CD. You have your case file number, the closing date, the property address, and the gross proceed. If there was any prepaid tax on the property, that would also come across from the CD for you in this line above the gross proceed. Scrolling down, we have the seller's information. A lot of this is also pre-populated. The only thing you'll need to enter in is their tax ID and also the allocation that they will receive from the gross proceed. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in the first one here. And for this property, I have two sellers. So we've got the second seller listed below where I'll need to do the same. You'll see after I enter in the first seller's gross allocation that it will automatically calculate the second seller's gross allocation below. These two allocations must add up to the total gross proceed at the top here. So if you had more sellers than two, each breakdown would have to add up to this total gross proceed at the top here. Before we move on, I'll just highlight a few other additional features here. So you'll notice the name to option here. This will be used if the sellers were married. So you would just put in the second spouse's name there. It would also come across from the CD if it's entered in, and you only need the one seller's tax ID for whoever you place into name one. If you get to this page and you've forgotten to add in a seller's information into Easysoft, you do have the option at the top here to add a new seller. So you would just click Add New, which would just add in an additional box down the bottom here where you can fill in that seller's information. But from now, I'm ready to go ahead and submit this information. So the last thing to do is just tick off these options here. So you do have to tick off and acknowledge that you do or have received a signed substitute form. So the second box is ticking off saying that you do have a signed substitute form. And the first box here that says collect e-signatures is used if you didn't have a signed substitute form. You can tick that one, put in the seller's email address and collect that signature by e-signature. Lastly, at the bottom here, there's a few extra features. So you can come in and click the print 1099 substitute form. All that information will be pre-filled from Easysoft, and you can come in and just click print substitute form so you can take it out to the closing and have it signed. You can also print off the exemption form if needed. So this will be used if the seller is exempt from filing a 1099-S, so they can tick off that they are exempt. You also have an option to save this as pending. So if you come in and add in any additional information, but you're not ready to submit, you can save it as pending, come back in and submit it at a later date. And then finally, once you are ready to submit, you'll just go ahead and click the submit button down the bottom here. After submitting, you will get the complete status here. And if you click on that, it'll give you a copy of the 1099 that you have just submitted, which you can go ahead and print or save elsewhere if you wish to. If for any reason you need to make any edits to the form before the end of the tax year, that's completely fine. So for example, if you need to update the seller's tax ID, their forwarding address, anything like that, you can come in and click edit at the top here, which will take you back to this page, and you can just make the edit as needed and go ahead and click resubmit. You don't get charged again to do the resubmission. You're only charged at the time of the first submission. Jumping back over to Easysoft now, you'll also notice when you come up to the 1099-S option here, you've got the option to do a submission report. So at the end of the tax year, you can come in and click on that option and it'll give you a report of all the 1099-S forms that you have filed within a date period. This concludes the training for filing 1099-S forms with InfoTrack and Easysoft. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to our help desk.